Somebody in the chat that said don't look over the Austin FC Violette game because we should talk about that because it was pretty historic. Obviously, Violette at Athletic Club, I believe it's called. We talked about the first leg with Eli. But now this second leg, after they lost,
they parked that bus, bro. They didn't get the ball away from me.
They only had 3 subs, right. So that was already that was the big storyline because they couldn't get a visa for all their players, which is also just such a ridiculous. Like, why can't as soon as you qualify for Champions League, why isn't the first step like CONCACAF and each club being like, all right, does everybody have their paperwork? Can we sort this all out now? Yeah, months in advance. It seems wild to me that this is a scenario. I know maybe the rosters are not like settled till January, but like have somebody handle this stuff. This is crazy.
If you're in the squad, you should at least have the access to play the games.
Totally.
I think this is another situation where like the U.S. doesn't understand soccer. So the people in those offices that help with the visas are like, you're coming here to play a soccer game? They probably think it's children. They're like, the CONCACAF Champions League. Never heard of it, bro. But I hope your kid wins.
Right. So Austin did lose this game. They lost the second leg 2-0. So they lose 3-2 on aggregate. And it's just... Look, it's embarrassing because they lose. Did you see that? You saw the own goal from Amaro Tarek and the game was held in a stadium I've been in, the Cibao FC Stadium in Dominican Republic, because the infrastructure and there's obviously still a lot of stuff going on in Haiti. It's still recovering from the earthquake and a bunch of other stuff, political stuff with their president.
As unfortunate as that is.
Yeah. So they didn't play the game in Haiti and clearly Austin just didn't take it seriously. Oh, Josh Wolff was like, oh no, we got it.
We'll be all right.
And we're like, oh man, we are 100% not all right.
Yeah. It feels less than all right.
But the second leg, they obviously start a much stronger side. Driussi gets 2 goals. There was, I believe, a third goal that was taken back because
weren't both of his goals in the second half though? Didn't they still look trash in the first half?
Yeah. They there was also a penalty call or non-penalty call where Jesse's artist to me seems like he got fouled, but. It could have been they were both going for it. Don't know. Unfortunate, but more than anything, it's the first leg. It's like, if you score 1 goal against
Violette, already knew what they were going to do in the second leg. They're like, bro, we just ain't going. We don't need to score.
I mean, look,
we just got to stop them from scoring 3 times.
Also, if they don't give up the own goal in where Tarek just kicks the ball into his own net, right? Which is ridiculous. But if they just score 1. Against them in Dominican Republic, then this 2-0 result has them moving forward. I had tweeted out that essentially that this is such a big story for Violette that they beat an MLS giant. I used that word. I said they defeating an MLS giant for a Caribbean team.
I'm sure everybody took that healthy.
Everybody was like, what did you just say, sir?
How dare you? Columbus Crew fans must have been irate.
Everybody is hung, and I used the word giant in quotes intentionally because relative to
Violette,
they are. That is not a crazy statement to make.
Cooligans FC is a giant.
So the fact that Violette accomplished this, and then there was another Motagua that beat Pachuca, which is a Honduran team beating a Mexican team, is also fascinating.
It's huge.
So these are huge stories, and it is like remarkable for like when I went to.
You saw them celebrating. This is like one of the biggest things that's ever happened.
And that's the thing is like even MLS fans don't understand how far the league has come. No. That to other clubs in the world, MLS clubs can be.
Well, you're the one with all the money.
These are the Galacticos to us.
Yeah.
So you have to just embrace the fact that MLS has actually started from one point and gotten to another, where the world is actually respecting the league and its talent and its quality.
It's an impressive place to be. But again, I would be maybe a bit more impressed if we didn't lose to teams like Violette. But shouts to them. I mean, this is an incredible moment for that coach, for those players. But this is a story they'll be talking about their whole lives.
I think there's been a lot of just underestimating. I think from Josh Wolff's part, he underestimated that this team would show up and it's like one of those things. I'm like, bro, did you watch any game tape of the team? Like, why field
though?
That's a good question.
This was their first game in 260 something days, bro.
I mean,
wasn't
that long ago. They had to have something. I don't
know.
There has to be look, because to field the lineup that he fielded is.
It showed a lack of respect for the opponent.
A little bit, and or just maybe it wasn't even respect, just ignorance of like, oh no, we got this. This team can do this.
Oh, this will be easy,
right?
Yeah.
And I think after the loss to St. Louis in the opener, I think maybe Josh Wolff is like maybe in his head a little bit like, oh, maybe I need to focus on and prioritize some of these MLS matches a little bit more because this one's going to be easy. And it's just, it's been a rocky start because I think that loss to St. Louis messed them up. Then they lost to Houston. They just like they don't have the same like swagger that they had last year. They were literally one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They got to the Western Conference final, right? Last year.
So, yeah.
No, incredible team, but you look past your opponent.
Yeah.
What do they call those in like basketball and baseball? They're like trap games.
Yeah, trap
sure.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say with Austin FC too, it just seems like they're entirely reliant on Sebastian Driussi to initiate their attack. They're like, he's scoring all their goals. He's assisting all
He is their
goals.
attack right now. Yeah, especially when you got guys like Fagundes and stuff. You'd expect that not to be the case.
They got rid of Musa Jite, right? From last season.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And look, I think we're learning. You know, you bring in Jazzy's artists, your team is a little bit different. You know, and it just changes the team a little bit.
No disrespect.
No disrespect, but it's just the team's a little bit different. And it's like, I think, an adjustment period for sure.